Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to take those classified files off your desk and really get into the details you need.
And today, it's quite a file. We're looking at MI6 agent Richard Blade, specifically his 27th trip.
Right, a forced trip into this place called Dimension X. Our sources lay out this incredibly secret project, Project Dimension X.
And a really terrifying enemy Blade face there. Chemically enhanced.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of redefines espionage, this mission.
Yeah, it's definitely not your standard MI6 stuff. This is like the bleeding edge of power projection, isn't it?
Absolutely. Project Dimension X.
Yeah.
Huge scale, but the secret. Held by just 4 people.
Okay, so who's in the club? There's Lord Layton.
Yeah.
And he's the scientist, right? The
Okay.
brilliant but eccentric one.
That's him. Built the whole dimension hopping setup. Then you've got Jay, Blade's handler at MI6.
The administrator, and of course the prime minister has to be in on it.
Naturally. And the 4th, Richard Blade himself. He's completely indispensable.
And that word indispensable, it's really key here, isn't it? Because the way they send him there, it's brutal.
Oh, it's a horror show, seriously.
Yeah.
Deep underground, Tower of London. Blade has to cover himself in this awful, smelly black grease. Stops electrical brine.
Cleanse from what?
From the scores of these cobra-headed metal electrodes they hook him up to. They wire him straight into Layton's supercomputer.
And he's the only one who survives this and stays sane.
The only living person known to have done it and come back, yeah. Fully intact, mentally speaking.
So why? Why risk an agent like this? What's the payoff?
Well, the payoff is potentially massive. Dimension X is seen as this treasure trove, resources, knowledge, even people.
They were thinking a new British Empire.
That's the phrase used, yeah, making the first one look small. It's about securing Britain's future, basically. Global stakes.
Achieved through this incredibly risky secret tech. But, okay, Blade goes through this nightmare transition. He arrives. What's waiting for him? Not lasers and spaceships, I gather.
No, not at all. He almost immediately gets tangled up with this group called the Hashomi. And they're the complete opposite. Yeah. Ancient methods, but powered by chemistry.
Ah, okay, so that's the contrast. MI6's high-tech operations slams right into these warrior adepts.
Exactly. The sources describe them almost like, historical ninjas or maybe the Hashomi. Very secluded, very austere, and incredibly deadly.
Living in some remote valley.
Yeah, hid by mountains. Fertile place, rich in resources, but cut off. And their life is just Spartan.
Like, how Spartan?
14 hours a day training. Barely any food. Strict rules on everything. Like, no strong drink except weak beer 4 times a year for the top guys.
Yeah.
Sex limited to once a month.
Wow. But you said it wasn't just rules, it was chemical.
Right. The rules are just the surface. The real control, the genius of their system, if you can call it that, comes from pharmacology, from drugs, mostly derived from this poppy-like flower they call hander.
So the whole society is sort of chemically engineered for obedience, run by this master and his wise men.
Yeah, from yeah. And they had this triad of drugs that were just fundamental to their power, real tools of social engineering.
Okay, let's break those down. What's the first one?
The first is Ken. Its purpose is pure social control, making people passive.
Passive how?
Like almost without a will of their own. Incapable of disobeying. You dose someone with Ken, they just follow orders. Perfect for that 14-hour training day society they built.
Right. Keeps everyone in line internally. But what about projecting power outwards or, punishment?
Well, that's where the other 2 come in. You've got Huma, which is your basic fast-acting lethal poison. Kills a strong man in seconds, apparently.
Standard assassin stuff.
Pretty much. But then there's the third one, NAD. And NAD is something else entirely. It weaponizes fear.
How so? It's not from the hander flower.
No, this one's different. Mineral and vegetable-based, the sources say. Its effect is just terrifying. Causes extreme paranoia, uncontrollable rage, these furious convulsions, and then death.
That sounds horrifying.
It is. But here's the kicker, the really surprising detail that makes NAD a true terror weapon. It works on any warm-blooded creature.
Wait, you mean they could use it on animals?
Exactly. Horses, dogs, even their hunting falcons, turn them into these maddened, frothing weapons charging at their enemies.
Good grief. Did Blade actually see this used?
He did. He witnessed this absolutely horrific execution. A man and a girl caught stealing the hander flower, chained in a pit. And they unleashed a horse driven completely insane by NAD into the pit with them. The psychological impact, you can imagine. It's biochemical terror, pure and simple.
Just, wow. Okay, so maddened animals weren't enough. There's more.
Oh, yeah. They have biological weapons, too. These things called the Asurani.
What are they?
Huge, black, scaled reptiles.
Yeah.
Described as fathers of snakes. The Hashomi used them as weapons, part of their justice system.
How do you even control giant reptiles?
You don't just train them, you prepare them.
Yeah.
Chemically. They lace the reptile's water supply with some kind of sensitizer drug constantly.
Made them sensitive to the other drugs.
Seems like it. And this is pretty grim, but they apparently fed the Asurani the bodies of dead Hashomi members. Yeah, laced with more drugs. The master saw these giant chemically amped reptiles as, like, his ultimate weapon for a war against the outside world.
Incredible. This whole primitive yet chemically sophisticated power structure stuck in their mountain valley. But Blade had to get out, right? He couldn't stay there.
No. He needed to understand the bigger picture. And he found his first opening, his first allies, actually, among the women in the valley, like a woman named Mirna.
Why the women?
Well, the sources suggest the Hashomi men, with the drugs and the harsh lifestyle, were seen as, well, less than men. By the women, anyway. There was discontent. Blade used that to get help escaping.
Where'd he go?
He travels to Dahaura. It's the capital city of this large empire in Dimension X.
Okay, finally into the wider world. Smooth arrival.
Anything but.
Yeah.
He's this crucial MI6 agent, right? And he immediately gets captured.
Captured, but he's Blade.
Yeah, captured and then sold as a slave, right there in an open auction in Dahaura.
A slave. That seems like a massive risk to the whole project.
It probably was, but it was also his way in. He needed to infiltrate the city's underbelly fast. And who buys him? A guy named Kuban Ben Sarif.
Who's he?
Powerful figure. Owns the city's main brothels, the Houses of the Knight's Tale. And crucially, he's deep into the city's intelligence network. So slavery becomes Blade's unexpected entry point.
Right, gets him inside the system. So now Blade's guarding brothels. Quite the step down for an MI6 agent.
Well, it puts him in contact with people. Like Casetta, she's a courtesan, one of the women beyond the law, financially independent, sharp, tactical mind. She helps him figure out the real threat facing the city.
And the city is ruled by?
The Baran.
Yeah.
He's basically the absolute ruler of this whole empire. And he's got problems. Big ones.
What kind of problems?
A coordinated plot to overthrow him. Internal. Coming from 3 directions at once. It's like this triangle of chaos aimed right at Dahaura.
Okay, who are the players in this conspiracy?
First, you've got the Hashomi, obviously, bringing the chemical terror, the potential for brute force from the mountains.
Makes sense.
Who else? Second, the city's Thieves Guild. Very organized, ruthless. Run by a group called the Council of 12. They control the crime, the logistics in the city. Essential for any uprising.
Okay, Hashomi muscle, Thieves Guild logistics. What's the third point of the triangle?
Religious dissidents. A group called the Fighters of Juna. They provide the ideology, the popular spark for rebellion among the ordinary people.
So a military arm, an organized crime network, and a religious insurgency, all working together. That's a tough combination to beat.
Extremely tough.
Yeah.
Blade realizes pretty quickly his only real potential ally against this is the Baran himself, the ruler.
Was the Baran up to it? Was he just some figurehead?
Surprisingly, no. Blade found out the Baran was actually very hands-on, not some pampered king. He'd apparently disguise himself as a merchant, wear chainmail under his robes, and just walk the streets.
Really? To keep tabs on things himself?
Yeah, to feel the pulse of his city. That kind of awareness, that practical approach, was exactly what Blade needed in an ally.
Okay, so Blade has the Baran's ear. What's the counter strategy? They need to break up this 3-way alliance, and fast.
Right. Blade argued against getting bogged down in street fighting. He pushed for speed and psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Hit them where it hurts, disrupt their coordination.
So, first move?
Go after the logistical linchpin, the Thieves Guild. Specifically, target the leadership, that Council of 12, take them out.
Why them first?
Paralyze the network. The Hashomi needed the thieves for moving supplies, drugs, information within the city. Cut off the head, the body flails, it disrupts everything.
Okay, cripple the logistics. Smart. But what about the Fighters of Juna, the religious fanatics? They seem harder to just take out.
That was Blade's boldest move, maybe. He advised the Baran to issue a proclamation. Basically, kick the Fighters of Juna out of the cities, drive them west, towards the desert.
Drive them out? Isn't that just letting them regroup, giving them ground?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a huge gamble, but it was pure psychology.
How so?
Blade figured the fighters, okay, they were zealous, but they were also counting on help. They expected the Hashomi army to march across the desert, meet them, give them weapons, drugs, support.
Ah, so they move west expecting reinforcements.
Exactly. They head out into the wilderness, waiting for the Hashomi super soldiers to show up.
And did the Hashomi arrive?
They didn't. Maybe because the Thieves Guild was in chaos, maybe internal delays. Whatever the reason, the Hashomi army never materialized out west.
So the fighters are left hanging?
Completely. Morale just collapses instantly. Their promised backup is a no-show. Suddenly they're isolated, demoralized.
Making them easy targets for the Baron's forces.
Exactly. The Baron's troops then either wiped out the remaining pockets of resistance easily or, even better, recruited many of the disillusioned fighters into their own ranks. A swift, clean win avoided a bloody civil war in the streets.
Brilliant, actually, and I bet cleaning up the thieves' dens yielded something useful.
Oh, did it ever? They found the Hashomi's main stash. Over a ton of their drugs, Ken, Huma, Nad, hidden away in the thieves' hideouts.
A ton, wow! So they captured the chemical arsenal before it could be unleashed on the city.
That was the final blow to the whole conspiracy, really. Which brings us to the endgame. The master of the Hashomi is cornered, his plan in ruins.
So he gets desperate.
Yeah. Blade and the Baron's forces track the remaining Hashomi, but they find themselves trapped, running low on food. And the master starts using leverage. Tortured prisoners, including Mirna, the woman who helped Blade escape the valley.
Oh no, that's grim. Sounds like Blade's in a tight spot.
A very tight spot.
What?
Suicide mission territory. But Blade forces the issue, demands a final confrontation. He challenges the master, one-on-one combat, on a narrow bridge, high drama.
Classic showdown.
But with a twist. To really ramp up the psychological pressure, Blade insists on fighting. Naked.
Naked. Against the master of the Hashomi. What was the master armed with?
His signature weapon. A staff. But the tip wasn't just sharpened wood. It was coated heavily with a super concentrated lethal dose of Huma. One touch and you're dead.
So it's Blade's raw skill versus this deadly chemical weapon. The ultimate spy against the ultimate chemically enhanced primitive warrior.
Exactly that contrast again. And, well, skill one. Blade manages somehow to disarm the master, seize the staff.
And turns it on him.
Poetic justice, right?
Yeah.
Impales the master on his own drug-laced weapon. The Hashomi leader is killed by his own chemical power.
Wow. So master dead, drug stockpile secured, Blade can finally go home.
Mission accomplished. He makes the return trip back through Leighton's machine, below the Tower of London, and he brings back a souvenir.
Let me guess. The staff.
The staff, yeah. Including the silver bell on the end that held the vials of the core drugs, Huma, Ken, and Nad, the keys to the Hashomi's power.
Which leads us to what the sources call the grand joke. He gets back. Okay.
He gets back fine.
Yeah.
And Lord Leighton's scientists are, ecstatic. They finally have samples of these legendary Dimension X drugs. They rush to analyze them, figure out how they work, maybe even replicate them.
What did they find?
They found nothing. Well, not nothing, but the substances had changed. Fundamentally. Chemically.
Changed how? During the transition back?
Apparently so. That whole electrical nightmare process.
Yeah.
It did something to the drugs. They completely ceased to be drugs, lost all effect on the human system. They were totally inert, harmless.
You're kidding. All that power, Ken, Nad, Huma, just neutralized by the trip home.
Instantly neutralized. The terrifying arsenal of social control rendered completely useless just by crossing the dimensional border. The grand joke indeed.
That's incredible. So the high-tech travel method completely nullified the low-tech chemical power.
Seems that way. It makes you think, doesn't it? The most dangerous thing wasn't the master staff itself, but the knowledge. The possibility of those chemical formulas reaching our dimension, home dimension.
Yeah, that's the real takeaway here, isn't it? That nullification, it was actually a massive stroke of luck, a benefit.
Blade certainly thought so. He recognized that, the Baron's absolute rule, for all its faults, was probably better equipped to handle chemical terror tools like NAD than our world. Home dimension, with its democratic vulnerabilities.
Imagine Ken or Nad loose here. The potential for terrorism, for social control. It's unthinkable.
Exactly. So the secret of the Hashomi drugs effectively died with the Hashomi. And maybe that was the biggest victory of the whole mission.
But it leaves that huge question hanging, doesn't it? Right there in the void between dimensions. What actually caused that chemical change?
Was it just random? The chaotic side effect of the transition's massive energy fields and dimensional weirdness?
Or was it something else? Could it suggest some kind of, I don't know, conscious defense mechanism, the multiverse actively neutralizing threats trying to cross over.
Keeping Dimension X's unique brand of terror locked away from our reality. It's a hell of a mystery.
Definitely something profound to think about as you navigate the complexities of your own world today.